10.1, here we come. Ready or not. This has everything to do with Diablo, right? You want to drop your pretty new gear treadmill a month before you drop your pretty new Diablo game. Give people, 30 days or so to get burned out. That way they're not competing against each other. A lot of people really excited about Diablo. And why not? Diablo games are always a blast for a month. First things first, I think to no one's surprise, a new zone. To be fair, it's not technically an island. It's a cave. But you know what this is. There's going to be a bunch of shit to do. And between the island they just dropped and this cave they're about to, you're going to be in a giant shit-to-do sandwich. That's fine. It's kind of fun rolling around doing shit sometimes. Here's a fascinating development, however. You have a growing and not insignificant amount of players who are now saying they're having a better time blowing all of their cooldowns, trying not to die to murlocs in Elwyn Forest, than they are getting excited for this absolutely majestic gear treadmill you guys keep dressing up, right? New zone, generic new factions, do these quests to get this eye level, to get this number, do PvP to get this number. And there's people that are saying, I'm just having a good time going out in the world, a world that's alive and dangerous and having to work with other people, rather than everybody just zooming around on their dragons getting their chores done. And they like to tell us that these islands and these new features are based on player feedback. And that they basically are just extracting these worlds from us. However, they don't ever talk about the feedback that some not insignificant part of their community, to include some of their most popular YouTubers and streamers, are having a better time blowing cooldowns, trying not to die to murlocs in Elwyn Forest, than they are, excited about coming around and zooming around in this beautiful treadmill you've created. What do you have to say about that community feedback? The fact that people would rather play a modded version of your game from 20 years ago than the multi-million-dollar mess you've got going on here. Because people really aren't grabbing up Dragonflight. And the problem is going to be that these beautiful, beautiful gear treadmills that you guys keep printing out are going to be harder and harder to sell to people that are having a better time in Westfall. We get some more world assaults. Fuck you guys. I love these. I hate that everybody's all instance up and no one's out in the world. I hate flying because everybody's all up in the sky. No one's on the ground talking to each other, checking out each other's T-Mogs. I love these where you got to get together in a big group. The problem is these are never difficult enough to make it worthwhile. I wish you needed tanks and healers. I don't know. Maybe these will be better. But I love this stuff. I love world events. Anything where, I'm actually in a massive multiplayer game rather than just instance up trying to get a bigger number, I'm a fan of. So I'm going to love that. Mythic Plus changes. I think the overall goal here was to make it a little less cortisol inducing. But let's just say I think there's some argument to whether that was achieved or not. Ultimately, I think all of these changes and all this Mythic Plus shit just stands as a beacon to what I'm trying to say about, I think there's a huge part of your community, and maybe even a growing part of your community, that would rather, again, go play classic hardcore rather than do all of this Mythic Keystone, Quaking Affix to get eye-level gear shit. There's obviously a community for this, and they're very hardcore about it, and they love it. And so, hey, there it is. And this is where I think we've just got really divergent communities where you've got people that really want this and they want to push the thing and they want the titles and they want the numbers on the eye level and they want all that hardcore shit. And then you've got a huge part of your community trying not to die to murlocs in Elwyn Forest with their buds, right? And laugh when their buddy dies. And they're having more fun doing that than all of this shit that you've created. I think that's a big problem for Blizzard. So we'll see where it goes from here, but stay tuned because I'm not sure how much longer they can sell the gear treadmill. It seems like it's losing its luster. Cross-faction guilds, this one's just got me all fucked up. And it's just, it's the end of an era and it's got me spinning because I just, makes me fucking sick to think about being in a guild with these nasty fucking mongrels. Never, ever am I doing that. I hate this so much. And as long as my channel's around, I just know there is no cross-faction shit with me. Fuck that. This is awful. This is just heartbreaking. It's the end of an era. And, it started for me. Okay, it goes all the way back to Tar and Mill before Battlegrounds were out. So, I can't. You know what I mean? I'm an old breed. That's what it is. I come from the old days. And I just can't. There's just too much Tar and Mill, too much STV. And there's just no fucking way. So, and this is what it is. And I can't help what it is, but all that merc mode shit, it just makes me fucking sick. And it makes me emotional. It gets me on the bottle. It's fucking me up. That's what it does. So let's just get over this because I just can't even look at that. It makes me new upgrade system. This reduces the currency down and makes it so that you get upgrade currency for just doing what you want to do. You're doing Mythic Plus, you're doing raids, whatever it is, you'll get this currency so you can upgrade your gear. Gives you a little more freedom in what you want to do. This is really nice for people that, they're really digging Dragonflight and they love their Mythic Plus, and this helps them gear up their other stuff and upgrade their other characters. So nothing wrong with that. Interupt durations getting reduced across the board. I think this is great. I always felt like interrupts were way too rewarding. People are like, it's high level PvP to be aware and interrupt. Yeah, maybe at the highest level or in tournaments. But there's also a huge part of the community that sets up a weak aura that plays a fucking foghorn in giant words across their screen so that they know it's time to hit their Arena 123 interrupt macro. And then they get 6 seconds of lockout. Bullshit. I'm happy to see this. I always thought they were way too rewarding for how quickly they were off cooldown. And in this hyper damage meta, just 6 seconds was, I think maybe even 5's a lot, but a little something's better than nothing, right? So I'll take it. I think overall these changes are going to be fantastic and really well liked, and it's going to make group content like 10 Man's way better because, you can just scroll through this list and look at all this shit on here. And I'll tell you right away, at a battleground, at least 60% of this shit is coming at your healer. And it was just getting to be insane between this and the ranged interrupts. And so I think this is very good for the game. Some of these, I wish it wasn't just blanket, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But overall, I think these are going to be positive changes and good for the game, and most certainly good for the casual players. And we need a lot more casual players, more than we need happy high-level players. We have more than enough high-level players. We'll never need another high-level, high-rated player again, but we need a ton of casual players. And I think this will appeal to a lot of them and hopefully bring a lot of them back to get these PvP queue times down a little bit. And so this is kind of interesting because for the first time ever, our purging, Resto Shaman and Priest overlords may actually have to use one brain cell before hitting their Purge Arena 1 macro over and over. This is a really great change. I'm really glad to see Resto Druids get this. They've been so vulnerable to purges for years, and this really gives some great counterplay to something that's just been completely abusive and dumb for years. So, awesome change. Very excited about this one. Good for you, Druids. Maybe this will be my alt. I'm looking. I'm shopping. Look at this new Survival Hunter PvP talent. Sticky bomb that disarms someone, right? But it blows up and everyone within 10 yards gets disarmed again. Isn't that cool? There's some really cool PvP talents coming out. Okay, a lot of changes to classes, and there's people that go through this line by line and spec by spec, and I'll let you do that if you're interested. Let's do check out my Pally, though. So they do have some plans to buff Holy Pally. I'm happy to see that. A 25% increase on Flash of Light. There's a new talent, Bedazzled. That's kind of cool. You blind your enemies, 20-yard cone. Miss their spells and attacks for 3 seconds. 1.5 second cast, 90-second cooldown. That's awesome, and that'll be really cool in Battlegrounds if that's an AoE cone where that could see some high-level play. You see someone winding up a Chaos Bolt or something, and you hit them with this Bedazzle, save your tank from getting nuked. This is exciting. Oh, that's fun. Oh, this makes me excited. Aura Mastery now reduces damage allies in your aura take by 30%. This is huge in Battlegrounds. I'm very excited about the CC changes in PvP. I'm excited about a lot of the new PvP talents and abilities. Some of the classes are getting some love that they needed. Overall, those are all really great things. And again, the new zone will be beautiful like it always is. And I have fun running around and doing stuff. All that said, I would like to put a line in the sand because I do think 10.1 further highlights the growing divide between this hyper-instant, eye-level treadmill, affix-focused, Mythic raid-focused community. And they just love to sit there and number crunch and theorize and theory craft and speculate and tier list versus a bunch of people that would just love to get lost in the World of Warcraft and, try not dying to gnolls and murlocs and Elwyn with their friends. There's a growing number of people, and at least a significant number of the community, that's going to enjoy that way more than the modern WoW product. It is interesting because if the WoW roadmap, and I said this from the beginning, if the WoW roadmap is to pitch more islands and more geared treadmills, no matter how pretty they are, if people didn't sign up for them in the first place, why would they sign up for them again? And if you are going to argue that 10.1 is the type of content that the WoW community wants, and it is based on feedback, then I just think you have to ask yourself why everyone's more excited about a 20-year-old modded version of your game. But no matter what the future holds, I'll see you guys inside that cave. Oklahoma out.